Pack your bags if you dare. Have you ever fantasized about traveling to a war zone? Even some of the world's most dangerous destinations can surprise you with their beauty and rich history. Come along and discover some destinations you might not have thought of before. On second thought, why not wait until things have calmed down a bit? I'm not responsible for any mishaps. Welcome to the channel Manipulation 24/7. Number 1. Palestine. Lonely Planet describes the Palestinian territories as an unlikely stop on many Middle East itinerary. The simmering conflict between the Israel military and armed group seeking a Palestinian state has destabilized the area for decades, displacing hundreds of thousands of people. The Canadian and US government advise against all travel to Gaza and against all but not essential travel to the most of the West Bank. In 2016, more than 2 million tourists visited the Palestinian territories. Anyway, many of them coming to see the Bethlehem, the biblical birthplace of Jesus Christ. The cities of Jericho and Ramallah also drawn crowds. Number 2. Ethiopia. Ethiopia has lots to offer visitors. Whether you're looking for some of the best coffee in the world, wildlife watching, mountain trekking, or a close encounter with one of the humanity's earliest ancestors, seeking the rock churches of Lalibela in a once-in-a-lifetime experience, the Canadian government recommends that travelers exercise a high degree of caution in Ethiopia due to, among other things, high level of street crime and poorly maintained roads. A new government was installed in April 2018 and it has worked to end long-standing conflicts with Eritrea and with rebel groups, although ethnic and political tensions remain high in the Ethiopia. Number 3. Eritrea. Until recently, Eritrea was known as Africa's most isolated dictatorship. After a long war with Ethiopia, it's now trying to reinvent itself as a tourist and investment destination. The quirky Art Deco architecture left over from the Italian colonial regime makes walking through Asmara, the capital, an interesting experience. The Canadian government recommends avoiding all travel outside Asmara, but the capital seems to have much to keep travelers occupied. Number 4. Venezuela. Global Affairs Canada recommends that Canadians avoid non-essential travel to Venezuela due to the significant level of violent crime, the unstable political and economic situations, and the decline in basic living conditions, including shortages of medications, food staples, and water. The US government recommends that Americans reconsider travel. With the collapse of oil prices in 2014, the oil-dependent South American country entered an economic tailspin that has led to fuel shortages and instability. According to the online travel magazine Matador Network, travel to Venezuela takes some planning, but tourists can expect to live cheaply and take in natural wonders like Angel Falls, the world's highest waterfall. Number 5. Central African Republic. This landlocked country at the heart of Africa has endured near constant war and instability since its independence 1960. Nevertheless, before all-out civil war began there with a coup d'etat in 2013, some tourists visited the country to see wildlife, including the elephants and lowland gorillas. According to Lonely Planet, the country may be the best placed in the world to see butterflies. For now, however, the Canadian government advises against all travel to the country. Despite the presence of the United Nations Stabilization Mission, armed groups that commit acts of sectarian violence remain a threat and are responsible for the death of thousands of people since 2012. Global Affairs Canada explains there are very few tourist centers. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, subscribe the channel, stay tuned. Manipulation 24/7 signing off.